So first 6 months down, actually it's been a little bit longer. Here's what I've learned and here's what works. I needed the now business. The now business comes from calling people you know need to sell. The people you know that need to sell are people that tried to sell and failed. So expired listings, canceled listings. They put on the market, time goes by, and for whatever reason, the house didn't sell. You call them up, you offer your service, you go and you meet with them, you identify why the property didn't sell to the best of your ability, and you correct that, you put it back on market, and you get it sold. That's step one. The other option is for sale by owner. With for sale by owner, you know they want to sell because they're actively trying to sell. They're just trying to do it without an agent, and that's fine. You call them up and you offer your service and you offer your value. They need to know that what they're paying in commissions is actually going to be offset by the value that you add. You're going to be able to get it done quicker. You're going to be able to get them more money. You're going to be able to help them navigate the legal process, help them navigate the negotiations, help them navigate, the attorneys and all that good stuff, and get the process done smoother, quicker, and for more money. That's the other set of group of people that are immediate business. They actively want to sell today. In the background, at the same time, step 3 would be to be building your personal brand. Without this, you're going to have to always be reaching out for the now business, and the now business is great, but you need some long-term pipeline stuff. So you got to start working on your personal brand. That's going to come through specific marketing, building up your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, your neighborhood farming, sending postcards, client retention, follow-up, all these kind of things. Eventually maybe even billboards and park benches and, restaurant menus. I don't know. But all that kind of stuff is how you're going to get some brand recognition, and then you'll be able to slow down on some of the calls that you have to make, ideally because you'll be getting more organic leads. But for the beginning, you got to hustle. I've been out here making hundreds and hundreds of calls every single day. About 1% will turn into an appointment. Out of those appointments, 25 to 50% of them will actually use you, and then you really get to work and you get the job done and you do what you say you're going to do and you sell the property and you sell it exactly the way you tell them you're going to. That way you build that trust and that reputation. That way you get referrals and you can actually follow up with these people and they're happy to send their friends and family to you. This is what I've been doing. So in 6 months, I've done 30 deals. I've been on 100 appointments, and I've made thousands of phone calls. I use a dialing software that also scrubs data and provides me with a list of all the expireds and the for sale by owners, as well as phone numbers. Some of the phone numbers are bad. It is what it is. You just dial through them. Part of the answer ratio is going to be the wrong numbers. It is what it is. You just dial through them. I sit on the phones at least 2-3 hours every single day. In the mornings, and then I circle back in the evenings most days. All of this activity is on my habit tracker so I can track my progress and the days that I'm slacking. I encourage y'all as one of your steps to get some form of a community around you. I used Facebook in the beginning. I found a forum of callers. That was very helpful to have other people that I can relate to and share my experience with, because it can be very mentally exhausting, all the rejection. Sitting there bored, listening to dial tones. Sometimes you feel, you go 2, 3, 4 days and you don't get anything, and you can feel like you're just wasting your time. So it's important to have other people that are sharing that experience with you. Now I've been able to add a partner with me, and now she's doing the same thing, so we can talk daily about, some of the struggles. It's very helpful. I do plan on continuing to grow out my team slowly. So for the next 6 months, I have to do at least 15 more deals. Ideally, I'd like to do more, but my goal for the year was 45 deals for year 1. Next year, I want to do double that. Really, I'd like to hit 100. So that's 10 listings a month, basically. You just have to get after it. In 6 months' time, I've been top producer almost every other month in my entire firm as the new guy. I've also been named the Triad's up-and-coming Rising Star, so that's all the agents in the entire Triad, just because I'm new and I'm hustling and I'm getting properties sold. It takes that. It takes the discipline. My routine is vital to me. I get up every morning at 6. I get to the office and I take time to myself. I do these 4 books. I do a little journaling. I read the Word. I read a devotion, and then lastly, I journal my prayers. That's just a part of my morning ritual. It helps me get my headspace right. Well, then I get on line and I practice my scripts. I practice my calls. I typically will listen to some sort of motivational speech on YouTube or something of that nature to kind of get my headspace right. And then I take a few minutes just to calm my mind before I start dialing because it's rough, but it's super possible. Massive action, that's what it takes. Coming off of the business, my family depended on the income from my other business, so I didn't have time to mess around. I had to replace that income. This is how I've done it. I plan to continue to grow it, and I'm going to document the journey, the good, the bad, the ugly. The ugly part of this journey is the head trash. When you're dialing and you have 2 weeks of absolutely nothing, you really start to question what you're doing and doubting. But that's the important thing about tracking it, because you can look back at the history of what you've done and the success, and you can see, well, it's pretty normal to have a week or 2 weeks where nothing happens, and then all of a sudden everything happens. It's just the nature of the beast. It's a numbers game. Like I said, I'm working on my personal brand at the same time, so eventually I can live on referrals like I did with my old business. But it took me about a year to build up a personal brand in the old business before I started getting organic leads. And I'm anticipating the same thing for this. It's going to take some time. I've got to get the experience under my belt for people to recognize that I know what I'm doing. And, it's going to take some time for them to associate my face with getting houses sold. So that's how it works. That's how I did it before, and that's how I'm planning on doing it now. So, guys, hopefully this is helpful. Subscribe and comment if you have any questions, and keep pushing.